Good morning and welcome to Miracles with Mary Ellen. Now, I told you the next time I was on, I was going to do the miracle of relationships. So that's what my topic is today. The topic is relationships. Well, Mary Ellen, what kind of relationship? You have family relationships and business relationships and friends and all kinds of relationships, right? Well, the one I get asked about the most and I counsel the most is a romantic relationship or an intimate relationship. I get asked so many times, how do I find, I want to find someone in my life. How do I go about finding someone? What did you do? What did you do to find Pete? Well, I didn't do anything. I just turned it over to God, which is probably the number one step you should do. But the first thing I always counsel anyone is number one, you don't need someone in your life. The only person you need in your life is you. But they'll come back to me and they'll say, well, I don't like being alone. Well, if you don't like being alone with you, why should anyone else like being alone with you? So the first step is to become aware of you and understanding yourself, and look in the mirror and ask yourself, okay, what are my good characteristics? What is really great about me? Well, I'm caring, I'm compassionate, I'm this, I'm that. Then look at yourself and ask what your not so good characteristics are. Are you financially insecure? Are you looking for a job? Are you totally unorganized? What are the characteristics about yourself that you'd like to change? So in any kind of, especially a romantic, long-term relationship, okay, you can meet someone and you can have that tingling sensation that we all look for. Or possibly you can meet someone as a friend and sometimes that sensation builds up. There are all kinds of ways for God to put humans together. And when it is the right relationship for you, what you want to understand is that there are red flags that go up throughout the relationship. So instead of giving the person you're dating an excuse or a reason as to why they're like that, step back and ask yourself, okay, they are like that. They're totally unorganized. Is that something I'm willing to live with? Because don't think you could ever change anyone, because the only person you can change is you. So you look in the mirror, become aware of yourself. Become aware of what's good in yourself. Become aware of what's not so good in yourself. And look at the characteristics you want to find in another person. And sit down with a piece of paper and write down, the top 5 or 10 characteristics. Let's say you want someone to be financially secure. You want someone to be, fairly attractive or take care of themselves. You want someone, whatever the characteristics you know are valuable for you to be able to live with. Become the characteristics you just wrote down. You yourself become financially secure. You yourself become the best version of yourself you can be. You yourself become whatever the other characteristics are that you wrote down, and you will be amazed at how fast that intimate relationship or that loving relationship appears in your life. I know Pete and I met on a blind date, and we met before that, but that's a long story. But we met on a blind date. And I remember before I went on the blind date, kneeling down and praying and asking God to allow this meeting to be what He needed it to be, not what I needed it to be. So for anyone out there that thinks that they need a relationship, quit being so needy, because people don't want someone to cling to them or be needy or want them for what they can provide for them, which is good, but what can you provide for the other person? I don't make that much money. Pete takes care of us, and I try to do as much as I can and bring in as much as I can. And I try to do other things around the home to make up for that. So, it's always a balancing. And just because you meet somebody, and let's say you get engaged to somebody, and then you get married to someone. When you get married, that's when the work begins. Because that's when both people are going to put down their guard and be the person they truly are. So while you're dating, look for those red flags. And if you go on a trip, let's say you go on a trip with them, and they leave the towels on the floor in the motel room, and they say, oh, well, this is just a motel room. I don't do that at home. Be careful, because they might do that at home. You have to really look for the red flags and ask yourself, how can you have fun with that person? Do you have hobbies together? What interests do you have in common? Because those hobbies, those fun things will carry you through the hard times, through whatever you're going through. Because every relationship goes through hard times. And fortunately, Peter and I, we have a great deal of love between us. And that's what really carries you through. The love you have inside yourself that you can then give to the other person. The love that he has inside himself that he can give to me. Finding someone, especially in today's world, is not easy. And I know a lot of people out there are using the apps, which I don't know. I never used an app, and I do want you to be careful because I want you to be safe. So when you meet someone through an app, make sure you talk to them. When you meet them for the first time, meet them in a public place. Stay in a public place. Keep yourself safe. And there are all kinds of background checks you can do today on people. So you might even like to do one of those. I would just be careful I would advise anyone who's looking for a relationship to keep doing the hobbies and the interests that you like. Because when you're somewhere doing something that you like, and you meet someone doing the same thing, then you have at least that common interest together that you can share throughout your life. Because when you get married, then, like I said, the real bills come in, and the children come in, and then the pets, and then you don't have time for each other, and then there's all kinds of things. There are a lot of interesting angles to relationships, and you have to be able to handle all of them. And just stay in that now moment and go through them and carry you both through with love. And always know that whatever you're looking for, the right person is looking at you in the mirror. So I want you to become the right person first, and then go out and find that wonderful, romantic, peaceful, loving relationship that you can enjoy for the rest of your life. I'll be back on Thursday with Mary Ellen's Miracle Moment with an inspirational story just for you. So just keep doing what you love to do and allow God to do the rest. Until Thursday, have a wonderful week, have some fun, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.